The stranger on the bus. It was an ordinary morning when I boarded the city bus to work. The sun was just rising, painting the sky with soft shades of orange and pink. The seats were half filled, and people were lost in their phones, books, or morning dreams. As I found a seat near the window, my eyes met his for the first time. He was sitting a few seats ahead, a boy in his mid-20s, dressed simply but neatly. He had gentle eyes that seemed to hold stories, and he was looking at me with a kind of affection that made me uneasy at first. I turned my face toward the window, pretending not to notice him. But every few minutes I could feel his eyes on me again. For days it continued. Every morning he would be on the same bus, sitting quietly, smiling slightly whenever our eyes met. Slowly, what once felt strange began to feel familiar. There was something comforting in his presence. Without realizing it, I began to look for him each morning. One day, the bus was more crowded than usual. I almost didn't get a seat, but he stood up and offered me his. "Please sit," he said softly. That was the first time I heard his voice. It was calm and respectful. I thanked him, and for the rest of the ride, we talked about small things, work, music, the weather. His name was Ayan. From that day, everything changed. We started meeting outside the bus. Sometimes we'd grab coffee after work, or walk by the river on weekends. He had a quiet charm that drew me in. He would listen when I talked about my dreams, my fears, and my past. He never judged me, or so I thought. Over the next few months, I fell in love with him. It wasn't the kind of love that burns like fire. It was gentle, slow, and deep. Every time he smiled, my heart felt lighter. He told me he felt the same, that I was special, that he had never met anyone like me. I believed every word. One evening, he held my hand and said, "I promise, I'll never hurt you." Those words felt sacred then. But promises are fragile things. It began with small changes, late replies, excuses about work, canceled plans. When I called him, sometimes he wouldn't answer. "Just busy," he'd say. "Don't worry." But worry became a part of me. One afternoon, while scrolling through social media, my heart froze. There he was, smiling in a photo, holding another girl's hand. The caption said, "My love, my life." My hands trembled. My chest tightened. For a few seconds, I couldn't breathe. I kept telling myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe she was his cousin or a friend. But when I confronted him, the truth cut deeper than any lie.
"Yes," he said quietly. "She's my girlfriend. We've been together for 2 years. I felt the ground slip from under my feet. Then what was I? I whispered. He didn't answer. His silence was louder than any confession. Tears filled my eyes as I turned away. I walked out into the cold night, the city lights blurring through my tears. The boy who once looked at me with affection had now left me shattered. For days I couldn't eat or sleep. Every bus ride reminded me of him, the seat he once offered, the way he smiled, the warmth of his voice. I deleted his number, blocked his profile, but the memories refused to fade. Love doesn't die easily. It lingers like perfume on an empty shirt. A month later, I received a message from an unknown number. "Please meet me one last time." I ignored it at first, but something inside me, maybe curiosity, maybe pain, and made me go. He was waiting at the same bus stop where we first met. His eyes were tired, his face pale. "I deserve your anger," he said. "But please listen. I never wanted to hurt you. When I met you, I was already in a complicated relationship. I thought it was over, but she came back, and I was too weak to walk away." I looked at him in silence. "You should have told me," I said. "You didn't just break my heart. You broke my trust." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "I know, and I'll carry that guilt forever." For a long moment, we stood there. Two broken people, once in love, now strangers again. The bus arrived, just like it did months ago. I stepped inside and sat by the window. As the bus pulled away, I saw him fade into the distance. Time passed. Seasons changed. The pain softened, though it never disappeared completely. I learned to smile again, to trust again, but never too easily. Sometimes, when I travel on the same route, I still glance at that seat near the window and remember how love began. With a look, a smile, a promise, and how it ended, quietly with betrayal. Yet deep down, I don't hate him anymore. Love, even when it hurts, teaches us something real about who we are, what we deserve, and how strong we can be after the fall. Because sometimes, the most powerful love story is the one that teaches you to love yourself again.